All right, Coach, talk a little bit about how practice went today.
Well, I thought practice was, I thought it was good today. You know, there's some things that we tried to clean up, you know, from the scrimmage. And, you know, I thought there's some physical contact out there today that was good to see. Did a goal line drill for the first time, and that was it's fun to see those guys, you know, tackle on the goal line some and offense, you know, punch the ball in. But overall, I thought it was a good day. We have another practice, you know, later today, so we got some more work to do before tomorrow's scrimmage.
When you looked at the tape of the last scrimmage, anything surprise you? Or
Nothing.
Different than what you thought you saw?
It was exactly what we saw. I mean, it was exactly what we saw. We did some really nice things on offense at times, but we were very sloppy and inconsistent with protecting the football, which is obviously a huge concern. You know, again, sometimes that, you know, that's kind of what you're expecting on the first scrimmage, but we got to get that tightened up. There's no question about it. Defensively, we played well, and then we'd give up an explosive play, so the inconsistencies there were pretty glaring. And again, yeah, I think overall it was about what we saw, you know, live.
What are you going to be looking for Saturday in your scrimmage?
Much improved consistency. We got to protect the ball much better. Quarterback center exchanges, we got to make sure that we're, you know, that we're in a good place with those. We got a couple different centers working in there with a couple different quarterbacks, so we've got to get better and more consistent at that. And again, just, you know, overall consistency of our team. You know, defensively, our stress is, you know, not giving up big plays, obviously, and offensively, it's you know, it's obviously our #1 goal is to protect the football, you know, and be able to run it, and while we run it, and when we run it, protect it. So, you know, those will be two big emphases tomorrow.
Other than Tunde, anybody else getting any reps at the center?
We've had Shane Callahan move in and out of there a little bit. Tunde's, you know, one that's really been taking most of the #2 center reps. But again, you're always trying to look for a third guy.
Gee, with 3 weeks tomorrow is the first game. Are you getting close to a point where you're going to have to make a quarterback call?
Yeah. Well, again, going back to the same mantra I've used, you know, we want to do it as quick as we can, but again, we've got to see some significant separation that allows us to do so. And you know, right now we're not there yet.
Coach, Clint keeps talking about his shoulder, saying it's still bothering him. Just what challenge does that face when you go into these scrimmages, and as he's playing with, he's not 100%?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you know, it's certainly a challenge for him. You know, at any position when you have a nagging injury, certainly a quarterback with his throwing arm would qualify as that. It's, you know, it's bothersome, but you know, he's trying to push through it, and we're trying to be smart on how he uses reps and, you know, how many times he throws the football, you know, every day. So it's something that we're really on top of. You know, we're trying to do the best we can so that, you know, he doesn't miss any time. And again, it's just something we're just going to have to continue to monitor.
With Clint's shoulder kind of limiting Silver's throws, what has he been able to do positively to still make it, as you said, a great competition?
Well, you know, again, the battle's just close. I mean, you know, it's a close battle. You know, he's played in a lot of games, you know, in terms of, comparatively speaking, you know, at the quarterback position to the rest of the competition. And, you know, he brings, you know, some knowledge of the game. He's been around here, you know, a good bit and a long time. So those are the things that he brings to the table. And again, they're all learning. But, you know, we're looking for that separation right now.
Talk about Blake Burgess, the guy who's played about 4 positions now. How's he doing? He's a new one.
Well, I'm proud of him. He split his nose open the other day and kept going in the scrimmage and never pulled out, got stitched up afterwards. Just a tough guy. I mean, he's just a great kid. He's a tough kid. You know, he walked on here, obviously, and received a scholarship. That's a mouthful right there. Kind of kid you love having on your team. He'll do whatever it takes for the team, play whatever position you ask him to play. You know, can play a fullback, a tight end. You know, obviously, you know, he came here as an offensive lineman. Just a very unselfish guy. He's an Auburn guy.
How big a role can Bill Muntz character play in y'all's passing game? See a bigger factor there?
Well, I think that Phillips, what he brings to the table is well documented. You know, he can be a wide out, he can be a tight end, he can come out of the backfield. You know, you can move him around in multiple ways, and he's you know, he's the same old Phillip. You know, he's just an incredibly gifted pass receiver in open space. He knows that our #1 challenge with him right now is to make sure that he can be a physical perimeter blocker, meaning from in a three-point stance from the tight end position, and that's going to be required. And so he's done it some in the past, but more of that's being required now. And so, you know, again, just trying to overall let Phillip, you know, improve his game. We know he can catch the ball, and you know, so he's got to continue to improve in all phases. But you know, he's certainly a key guy in our offense.
I know we talked about it at times, but with Sean Coleman being back, just beyond the football aspect of it, how special is that to you personally?
Very special. Very special. I mean, when you sit there and you look at young men going through so many different things in their life, but then you look at the adversity that he went through, it's an incredible story. It's just that simple. It's an incredible story, and he's really worked hard. I mean, you know, he was hoping that, you know, he could go through the full spring, and, you know, that didn't necessarily pan out. So now he's, for the first time, getting back in pads in a couple of years, and just trying to, as I said earlier, try to knock the dust off, you know. But what an incredible story by a guy that's really worked hard. I mean, he's stayed at it now. I mean, he's worked out on his own. He's worked out with us. He's done all the things that he can physically do to prepare for this moment. And, you know, he's got a long way to go as a football player. But the fact that he's out there and he's involved and he's getting an opportunity to play football again is amazing to me.
Any update on John Sullivan?
Did a little bit more today. Did a little bit more. Again, still a little beat up, but practiced a little bit more today.
On Saturday scrimmage, is going to be the same format as the first one, or different?
It'll be very close to being the same thing, Mark, yes. Very close.
Gene, what's caught your eye with Brandon Foltz this fall compared to where he was a year ago?
Well, I think Brandon's definitely improved his game as a blocker. I don't think there's any question his perimeter blocking game is improving. It still has to improve a good bit. You know, he's very inconsistent catching the ball in the open field. He's recent as the last game we played. You know, when he's running routes coming out of the backfield and on naked bootlegs and things of that nature, you know, he's got to catch the football. He's got to do something with it vertically down the field. He did that a little better Saturday in the last scrimmage Wednesday. He did that a little better Wednesday, and I think he's got to be able to do that. He's a big target. He's a very athletic kid. There's no reason he can't get into space and catch a football and be effective down the field. He's got to improve there.
Anything
How
else?
key will Jay Prosh's blocking abilities be for this offense, this new offense?
You know, Jay is going to be, he's going to be a key to, you know, a big key to our running game, actually. I mean, you know, that position is. And, you know, he's obviously done it before at this level, which is a comforting thing. He won't get in there and be big-eyed, you know. So he's done it before. But, you know, on many of our schemes, he's got to be your typical fullback, tough guy, lead it up in there and block some linebackers in this league, which is it's a tough deal. So we're counting on him to play well for us to be productive.
Anything else? All right, Coach.
All right, guys and girls.
We heard about Honey Badger, didn't you?